Welcome back to my channel. So first and foremost, before I get into anything, I just want to let you guys know, as a quick disclaimer, bear with me. I'm currently living like a Twitter honey slash IG model. I got no furniture right now. That also means I have no tripod. I currently have my camera propped up against the windowsill, so just please be patient. Today's gonna be one of my first videos where I'm just gonna be tapping into the more informative side of my channel that I'm trying to introduce, because I've been getting a lot of feedback since I dropped the first video saying that I've moved into my new humble abode, and I've got a lot of feedback and a lot of encouraging words, as well as a lot of questions. And I vowed to make sure that I was staying on top of things and making sure that I was giving you guys answers to any questions and stuff like that, and any advice, tips, guidance, information that I could give, just to make sure that keeping up my end of the bargain. So with that being said, I've had a lot of people ask me what were some of the biggest hurdles and obstacles that I had to face in this process of getting my own place. Where do I even begin? So a lot of people would like to think that saving up your down payment for your house would be the hardest thing. Honestly, not to say that that was anything easy in the slightest bit. However, all the things that I had to do and get done after putting down my down payment was 1,000 times more stressful. Like, this whole process is definitely nothing, it's not for the faint of heart. Like, this was by far the most excruciating thing I've ever done in my life, but it was worth it. What would I say was the hardest hurdle to clear? Would definitely be the whole mortgage application. Doing that on your own, it was very hard, because it's one thing to save up the money and have the money there, but it's another thing to prove it and have the bank truly believe that you can upkeep these things that you just saved up for. So, God forbid, I put all this time and effort and responsibility into saving up my money to put it towards this thing, but then I have the bank coming to tell me that you still can't afford it. Hello, I just saved up for it. Yes, I can. Let me at least try to do so. But it's the bank's money. They're obviously gonna be careful with who they lend that money out to, because they don't wanna lose it at the end of the day. So the mortgage process was ridiculously hard. What I would suggest anybody do in that situation, make sure you get on top of that as early as possible. I had a whole year from when I put my down payment down to when occupancy took place, and honestly, I procrastinated. I'm gonna be honest, that's the number one thing I would suggest and advise anybody not to do, is procrastinate. I kicked back, I was living my best life, saying, you know what, like, I did it, like, I'm good. That's the sun dipping behind some clouds, because as I said, I'm not using any lighting, I'm not using any tripod, I'm sitting in front of my windowsill. So if I go light skin to dark skin to light skin, just bear with me. People be like, yo, did he just throw a filter on? No, that is the sun moving. His bike, wow. So as I was saying, don't procrastinate. Make sure you're on top of everything. There's no such thing as being too early to go through the processes that you need to go through to get the job done. Definitely make sure that you have all your documentations in order, because when you go through these processes, there's gonna be a lot of documentation that is required of you in order to go through the processes. So, for instance, going through a mortgage, I needed to go and get pay stubs going back however long ago that the bank is requesting for, because they want to make sure that you have the money that is sufficient enough to satisfy the loan that you're about to be taking from this bank, because it is a large amount of money. They want to see job letters, they want to see identification, they want to see proof of payments, they want to see your credit history, they want to see X, Y, and Z, they want to see the whole 9 yards. So it's a lot of stuff to attain. So I think after really realizing how much I've been speaking on the mortgage application itself, I think I'm just gonna make that a separate video going forward. Next on the list of hurdles, because that was only one. Try to get your furniture ahead of time, because then you're stuck with this literally in no man's land. Like I said, it just kind of goes back to being someone that takes initiative and not procrastinating, such as myself. I feel like I'm gonna be dragging myself a lot throughout this video, but it's okay. I'll drag myself for the good of you guys. I don't even have a couch. I don't even have chairs. I'm sitting on my sleeping bag that I balled up right now. So honestly, like I would just suggest, if you guys know, okay, you bought your house in January and you know you're moving in May, take some time out, get a little something every now and then, like maybe get something every paycheck, you know, like if it's something small, even like a table, or first of all, it ain't even small because I've been looking at prices of furniture and it's ridiculous. I'm suddenly just cutting out the things that I don't even think are necessary because I'm like, don't really need a chair, really. I'll just use a couch and use it for everything. I'm gonna drag the couch to every room that I need to sit in. A carpet is a rug, a little area rug. Them shits is pricey. So I just wanna make sure people understand that what they're getting themselves into before they actually do the plunge, because if you're someone like me, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get the credit first, I'm gonna think about everything else afterward. Wrong. And I wish I didn't do it that way, but I'm here now, and I'm just gonna have to make do. But like I said, if you have the opportunity to be a little bit more diligent and take things into your own hands ahead of time, definitely do so. Get something small every now and then, just so that when you do move in, you can bring in those things that you have already beforehand and not be living this ghetto lifestyle that I'm currently living, because currently as of right now, all I got is me and groceries in the fridge. Other than that, I'm eating on the floor for a couple more weeks because, bruh, listen, I need another paycheck before I go and buy myself a table or a couch. I gotta move with the sun. This is so ghetto. All right. So another thing that I would definitely stress that people look out for when going through the house buying process is closing costs. So closing costs, how would I describe closing costs? Closing costs, Closing costs are like when you're just about finished acing a test and you're like, you know what, like it's home free, everything's good, I'm about to get an A, it's lit, and you get to the last page and it's a gigantic essay style question and you are completely taken aback by the fact that, oh, this was gonna be on this exam? Yes, this was definitely gonna be on the exam. It uppercuts you. Like, you put down so much money in the beginning for your down payment, you're like, you know what, this is sick, I'm done. A whole lot of money just came out of my account, but it's all going to a good cause. I don't have to worry about anything else until my mortgage kicks in. Wrong. You have your closing costs to deal with. So that's a whole bunch of land transfer tax, property tax, condo fees. Everybody's gonna have a different amount of different stipulations to what those costs entail. But long story short, it's your closing fees that you have to put either towards the people that you're paying for getting the house, or the condo fees for your house, or whatever type of fees that are entailed in your living arrangement. Make sure that you're on top of all the services you're gonna need in your house. I just got the heat set up, so that's good because it is cold in Toronto as of right now. I don't have any internet and TV and home phone just yet. Be on top of that stuff because there's a lot of things that you don't really realize that you need to get in place, such as home and fire insurance. You think that everything's just blessed. I don't know why, I just had to feel like, yo, everything's gonna be taken care of. It's not. So it's a lot of stuff that you just gotta make a lot of phone calls, a lot of appointments you gotta set up. A lot of times you just gotta be here so that those things can get set up. It's just something to be on top of. You gotta set up your mailbox. If it's even your electricity, your hydro, you gotta get all that stuff figured out because it's a lot. And if you aren't on the ball with it, you're gonna have days, weeks maybe even, where you ain't got no electricity, you ain't got no internet, you ain't got no, the essentials you're used to, the utilities are not there. You have to set it up. It's not in place for you. So the things you might be accustomed to by having a landlord or having your parents take care of it when you were living with your parents, that's all on you now. So it's just a lot of the things you don't really realize that are luxuries and essentials to living. You gotta be on the ball and getting those things set up. So that's definitely something that I would definitely advise for you guys to be on the ball with too if you're in this process. What you also have to realize too is payments to the people that have working for you in these situations. Any house purchasing situation is gonna have a couple of people no matter what. So just touching on a couple of the key role players you're gonna have in a situation like this, you're gonna have a lawyer. You need to have a lawyer to deal with all the fine tuning and all the stipulations to the stuff that you don't even know exist in the background, but they're there and they're gonna make sure the job gets done. They have to get paid. You have to have your real estate agent who most likely is going to be getting a commission of anywhere between 2 to 5%. And not only that, your real estate agent has to get paid and their real estate agent has to get paid if you're buying it off of somebody. If you're buying it from a new build, you pay the builders. So that has to come out of the price as well. Also, if you're selling, a portion of your selling price goes to your real estate agent. Mortgage brokers, some people might not need a mortgage broker. I did, just because doing this whole process by myself, I needed as much help as possible getting all these things done. So I had a mortgage broker, I had to pay them. Sometimes they get a commission out of it based on the job that they do, depending on what kind of lending they get you. So you might not have to pay necessarily. Every mortgage broker, and it's a brokerage in any facet is gonna have their own pay structure. Sometimes it'll come out of your pocket directly, sometimes it'll come out of the deal that gets done, but nonetheless, they get paid. So those are just a couple of the roles that you're gonna have to kind of make sure that you're aware of and you're keeping yourself on the ball with, because you might not necessarily need every single one of those key components and key contributors, but those are pretty vital for most people. And they also help make the transition really smooth, because it's a lot of things that you have to do on your own if you don't have those people there. Sometimes it might just make more sense to dish out the money of those people, have them handle those things, because you have a lot of other things to deal with, as well as maintaining the life that you were living going into this. So it's a lot of days where I had to take off just because I had so much stuff to deal with myself, even with those people in place. And that takes me out of working. I don't get paid that day because I didn't go to work, because I had to make this phone call and do this transaction, drive here to drop this paperwork off, and go and get this paperwork from this person and retrieve this. So it's good to have those people in place, because they kind of do a lot of the running around for you and the fine tuning while you get to maintain your life. So that was definitely a big hurdle, just making sure that I had to find those people to begin with, and not only find those people, but find good people, because there's a lot of people who are a real estate agent or a mortgage broker or a lawyer, and they do the bare minimum for you. So you want to make sure you're getting people that go above and beyond to get the job done. And luckily I did a lot of networking leading up to this, and they helped me out, and I'm very grateful for their efforts in the transition that I had to make. Let me see if I can figure out if there's anything last minute. Bro, this is a lot. I'm out here rambling. Oh my gosh. But honestly, I think that's it for now. Like, those are the main hurdles that I had to clear going through this whole process. So make sure you're on top of your closing costs and you have that money set aside, because the last thing you want to do is get hit with a haymaker when they're like, hey, yeah, we need an extra 10,000 to close this deal. Huh? I gave you all my money in the beginning and I don't have it right now. So you don't want to have your deal fall through because you don't have the closing cost amount. Make sure that you have your mortgage straightened out, because if you don't have that mortgage in place, you do not want to be in a situation where you have to scramble to now sell your place you just saved up for and you've been looking forward to, because you weren't on the ball and you were procrastinating. Also making sure that you kind of just plan ahead a little bit, so that when you do move in, you're moving into somewhere that you can kind of, I mean, it is still home, but you know, make home feel like home. And lastly, just making sure that you have a really good team behind you of the people that you're gonna need to make the transaction work. Lawyers, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, all those people, and a whole bunch more that I'm probably not listing right now. I'm gonna make sure that I make a part 2 to this video, and maybe a part 3 or part 4. You guys keep feeding me questions, the more videos I'm gonna put out to be more informative. So hopefully this was useful and I gave you some decent advice and decent information. Feel free to follow me on all my socials, message me on all my socials if you have any questions pertaining towards it, and I'll be back. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, make sure you leave some comments. I do check them. Hopefully this was a good first video, and we're gonna see what's up with it going forward. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep on the floor now. Yes, see you. That would have been more comfy if I had furniture.